I'm about to prove that you can scale any business with just 5 moves. Not 50, not 15, 5. These are the 5 steps to scale any business to 8 figures and beyond. And if you miss one, your entire profit bridge collapses. I know this works because I've done it over the last decade from 0 to over $75 million in sales. Let's see which part of this profit bridge that you're missing right now. Now, first off, I want to introduce you to this profit bridge framework. So there's 5 core components in what I call the profit bridge. Now, for starters, let's start with you and where you're at. So you are right here, this horrible stick figure drawing. You know, you're kind of frowning. So you're right here. You need to build a bridge from where you're at to what I call 8-figure island. Okay, this is 8 figures in annual revenue. This is what we've done at my company in the last few years. Now, there's only one problem. You've got this water here kind of flowing. Let's pretend this bridge doesn't exist for a second because you haven't built it yet. So you're trying to build this bridge to this magical land of milk and honey flowing with revenue, with profit, with a successful business, and you got to build a bridge. So here's the problem. Most of you are stuck with what's called half-built bridges. You listen to the latest guru who says, oh, you need to run Facebook ads. You start doing Facebook ads. Hold up. New shiny object. I need to be on TikTok. So you start doing TikTok. New shiny object. I need to be doing affiliate marketing. So you start doing that. And you start and stop. And you end up with all of these half-built bridges and you never finish one, so you never get anywhere. Does that resonate? Right? Maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's been me for the last year, last decade of business. Now, the profit bridge is a mechanism to overcome half-built bridges and, more importantly, to build a fruitful and sustainable 8-figure company. So you might not see it yet, but there's 5 core components of the profit bridge. Okay, so there's the columns, there's the bridge itself, there's the island, there's the people here, and then there's the mechanism of profit. So those are 5 core components. They're the 5 P's. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet. They're really important. We're going to walk through each of these 5 P's in the next 5 videos in this series. Okay. What I want to do in this video is kind of tee up the whole framework so that you can understand how all this connects together. Then we're going to chop them down one at a time. And if you execute these 5 things in order, you will scale to 8 figures. Okay. This is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, if you execute them properly. Okay, this is what I've been beating my head against the wall at for the last decade and change. I remember the chase to my first 8-figure year and then the chase to my first $1 million month. It's really hard because I was missing core components that are in here. Most people don't scale because you're overcomplicating it. All right, maybe there's this limiting belief where you feel like if I just make this more complicated, then I'll be worthy of this success. I had a friend and mentor one time who said, business is simple, we make it complicated. As if we make it more complicated, well then somehow we're going to scale faster, right? So I learned kind of these 5 core pillars over the last decade. I mean, we did 7 figures in the first year, but then we were just kind of grinding it out. It's the classic 10-year overnight success, right? Million in year 1, $1.5 million year 2, 2.5 year 3, then we did 4 or so, then we did 6, then we did 8, then we're kind of stuck in that 8 range. Then it's been 10 million, 11 million, so that's because we discovered these 5 core principles and executed them in order. You don't scale by knowing these 5 core components of the profit bridge all at once. You scale by mastering them one at a time. Okay, so that's what this video series is all about. It's about what are the 5 P's of the 8-figure profit bridge in order that you need to execute them. So each video will be the first step and then the next step and then the next step and then the next step. Okay, so it starts with paying customers. These are the columns, right? So we'll talk about how do you get those customers? How do you scale? How do you get customers so fast that it feels illegal? What are the things that actually work? What are the things that you need to nail right away? But then maybe you're watching this and you're at 7 figures. Okay, what are the things that you need to make sure that you're nailing right now to get even more customers? And then that forms the foundation for this bridge. The bridge is the second P. This is arguably the most important P in this process, and it's the one that nobody knows about or nobody talks about. It's crazy to me that no one talks about this, but we'll talk about this one in the second video. Then, now that we've got that bridge, we can go over here and harvest. Video number 3, what is that P? Then, okay, but then how do you get stuff back and forth with it not just being you. We'll talk about that in video 4. And then finally, what are the mechanisms, the vehicles? All right, it's a P word, I promise. All right, so we'll talk about that one in video number 5. So we'll break it all down. It starts with how to get paying customers so fast that it feels illegal. Okay, this works even if you've got no customers, you've got no list, you've got no audience like I did when I started, or maybe you're at 6 or even 7 figures and you're like, growth is kind of stalling a little bit. How do we make the cash register ring? We'll cover it all, the core components, the first piece that you need to master, the first P in the profit bridge in the next video. I'll see you there.